I think on the way home for meal deal.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other comments, or are we ready to move on for now? Okay. Go on your field trip, give it some thoughts, and then give me feedback. Give me a call, shoot me an email. Item 7, video gaming. And this is discussion tonight, but this is something I think we need to make a serious decision on. Many municipalities are taking a stand on this. Video poker games. Quite a few towns have banned them, but some towns are allowing it. I'm proud to say, personally, I'm glad to see that Gurney banned it. Grace Lake has banned it. I was a little surprised a couple weeks ago that the beach approved it. So it is going to be allowed in Round Lake Beach. Now, a couple things I want you to understand with video gaming. If you fall into the state statute and meet the requirements, you can apply for a state gaming license, and then you wouldn't have to come to the municipality. So I was asked if we have any businesses today that could fall into that category, or organizations in the village. We have 2. It's okay for me to say which 2? Sure. One would be the Northbrook Sports Club. I'm not suggesting at all that they're looking into it or they've approached us about this. I don't think that's what they want today, but things change. So, but technically if they wanted to, they could approach the state and apply for a gaming license. Other entity, believe it or not, and again, I don't think that they're interested and they have not approached the village, would be Bento Cafe. A establishment that serves food and alcohol can qualify. Now it's rather small in there, so I don't think you're going to fit a lot in there. But those are 2 that qualify today. Now, if somebody bought a business or rented a space, and again, was putting in a restaurant or something, and we said, oh great, we love a restaurant, and then 3 months later they again applied for a license, they would not have to tell us, they would not have to let us know, they could go to the state. And without an ordinance, if you pass an ordinance allowing, that's sending a message that yes, we allow this, or banning it, if you pass an ordinance that bans it, you would forward it to the gaming board in Illinois, and they would know what your stance is on this. And they would let them know that that village has a ban against that. So the other questions I've been asked by some of the trustees is, well, what kind of revenue does this produce? What would make somebody want it? So here's a simple way I have of explaining this. If an operator goes into a business, let's say they go into ABC Restaurant, that's here now. The operator and the restaurant together have to give 30 cents on every dollar to the state. And then the state is supposed to give us back a nickel. So we're not talking any tantalizing money here. And then I also question how long it would take the state to mail us that, since we've had to wait for our other monies at times. So that being said, I open it up to say, do we want to consider passing an ordinance banning this? Or do we want to allow it, and why would we, is what I'd like to hear.
And this is just video gaming only.
This is just video gaming.
So we could apply for a gambling permit, put a vote on Cranberry Lake.
Let's go.
I think the governor's on record of videoing this kind of just a couple, if I may, just a couple quick comments. In terms of the village's current ordinances and gambling, the village currently has in place an ordinance that prohibits gambling in the village, with the exception of legal lotteries and licensed bingo. And so, in order to, I think Mayor Soto is correct. It makes good sense for the village to consider establishing an ordinance one way or the other, either authorizing video gaming in establishments that qualify for it, or prohibiting it, one or the other, so that there's no mixed message, and also there's no uncertainty moving forward for businesses that may be looking to locate in the community that have an understanding of what the village's stance is. There are a couple of things. One is, if the village prohibits it, then in terms of the licensing, there would be no discussion about that. It would be on the state, and that would be the end of it. The one authority that the village does have, if it authorizes gambling in an ordinance, is that the village can establish a license fee, a local license fee, in addition to whatever the state has in place. It's not very much money, though. It's $25 per machine. And businesses can only have up to a maximum of 5 of the machines. And so you're not talking about a significant amount of money from that. I'm not sure how we predict or measure potential revenues from businesses who had these in terms of the 5% that the village would get from their net revenues. And that's just, we want to be careful we understand. It's not the amount that's put into the machines that's measured, but it's the amount, the net revenue, and put in less the amount paid out, and then the village would get eventually get 5% of those revenues. So just wanted to clarify a couple of points.
Can you raise the license fee though, the machines, there's 25 in the state right now?
No, it's no recommendation, it's the statute.
The state.
The state's calling the shots.
This whole statute is written giving the state all the authority, with the exception of 2 items.
What about home rule communities?
Home rule communities may be able to increase the license fee. There's some question about that.
Maybe that's the only place that you can make a lot of money on it for a small community if you allow it. You should be able to charge enough money on the machines. If you can't charge more than $25, you can't make anything.
Right.
Where does Round Lake Park stand? Any feeling from the other Round Lake?
Round Lake Park right now is just relying on the statute. So and whether they're going to move forward and make a decision or go to discussion, I don't know at this time. But relying on the statute, like I said, if they have a place in town that just goes to the state and applies for the license, they can technically do that right now. So
I'd like to recommend that we consider banning it. We're trying to make Hainesville a Class A. I know that we didn't have any say on the pawn shop that came, and I don't think that's the image that we want of Hainesville. They sound like
the
it's
pawn
not.
shop, you mean the gold?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's not a pawn shop. Yeah.
Whatever. So I think that, I mean, I know we're not going to vote on it tonight, but I just think that that's my opinion.
Well, I really, hearing all the facts, I would recommend that we ban it, because unless MGM wants to come here and build a real classy casino, I don't see it bringing anything but trouble, undesirables, more police, more work for Chief Perlini to get somebody away from the video machine because they're closing, or the person fighting with the owner of the establishment because now they're mad because they didn't win. You know, I don't see any good coming of it. So my recommendation would be that we pass an order banning it and send a copy to the Illinois Gaming Board and let them know how we feel. So think about it. This was a discussion. We're not taking action tonight. I would ask that you shoot me an email, or you know, if you all agree, I suppose we can, we don't have to vote, but we can tell Jim that we would like to start preparing an ordinance to look at in the next board meeting. That would be the October board meeting, where we would take action. We do have a second meeting this month, but we wouldn't put it on yet. All right, don't all jump up and down at once.
Have you prepare it and we can discuss it at the next board meeting and then
Okay.
vote on it if we don't want it that way?
Okay, fair enough. Okay, with that, can I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. 10 to 9. Woo-hoo! Who wants a piece of cake for the roast?
Russ, don't go.